Good afternoon, fight fans. That's right. Don't adjust your sets. It is not Wednesday. It is, in fact, Sunday afternoon. Welcome to another great episode of Headkicks and Haymakers. I'm your boy Bodkins in freezing ass cold Missouri. And joined with me is Mr. California gets to enjoy the nice sun, Mr. Bobby Blunts. Bobby, what a night it was last night at UFC 324. I mean, the main event, we said when the main event was announced, we didn't care about the belt was whatever, but we liked the match, we liked the fight, and by God, did the fight actually deliver. I mean, Justin Gaethje and Patty went to war last night, and I think the storyline to me is not about that Justin won, is that Patty fucking belongs, like showed like he's a legit top, 5 guy in the UFC. And I also came away thinking neither one of these guys beat Ilya or Arman. So I don't, we'll start with the main and we'll kind of work our way down. But those are my two initial takeaways from the main event last night. Your thoughts on the main event of UFC 324?
Yeah, violent wise, it definitely held up. I said in the breakdown, to me, it really wasn't a question if Patty belonged. I did kind of believe that he should be up here, whether or not I thought he deserved to really fight for the interim title next. I thought this was very kind of appropriate matchmaking to kind of see what they got with him and stuff. And he's got one hell of a chin. That was obviously shown in the 25 minutes.
Tougher than a $2 steak.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like Gaethje's plan was to make it a dogfight and really throw out the technical side. And just, I more or less don't want to say bully him, but the way he was getting him to kind of walk back when he had his back up against the cage, that's when Gaethje was really kind of catching him with shots. And, I've always been so used to like Whitman kind of having Gaethje just a lot more kind of technical and stuff. And it was apparent from the very beginning that was kind of the game plan, was to make it ugly. At first, even I thought it was because who knows what Gaethje might have had in the gas tank. Like I thought he was, hey, I'm going to give it all because I'm not sure how the cardio was. I was completely mistaken on that because if anything, he looked better as the fight went on. And, I do think a lot of people, including myself, kind of thought this was the way they were going to try to bring Patty in to fight for the title. So it was really good to see. Dustin Poirier kind of said it best. Legends won, and welcome to the game, Patrick. And I was very surprised in Patty's game plan. Like I thought he was willing to kind of stand in there, but after he got dropped the first time, I thought he would kind of like readjust. Granted, Justin did a great job stopping any type of takedown, but at the same time, Patty just kind of stuck in there and took a lot of damage. Like you could have thought the fight was going to end in the first round when he went down initially. And then in the second round, it was like, oh shit, it ended. His eyes all split open. And credit to Patty after that, where it was really looking bad for him. That is the one round I think you can say he kind of definitively won. Like he had a bounce back in the third, but it was really good seeing Whitman's corner work. Because of all the ads and stuff, I kept switching back to the multi-view during. And if you do the multi-view, there are no ads. So who knows how long that will last for.
So what's the multi-view though?
So the multi-view, it shows, how when you watch like Sunday morning football and you can split and it's like 4 screens. So it's split and then you have 2 octagon views, which more or less seem like the same angle. And then underneath, you have both coaches' corners.
Oh, shit. That's on the app. That's on the app.
Yeah, all you have to do, it's like when you're watching want to go to Prime Vision, you just hit the thing and it will show it next to like all the Spanish and the Portuguese ones.
Okay.
And so for the main event, they kind of worked it out and showed you most of the corner work, but especially like people were complaining about not being able to see the walkouts. Every time it went to the ad, I just went to the multi-view and it would show it. So we'll see how long that lasts. But yeah, I think the main event absolutely delivered as a whole, whether or not, it's kind of what you said. We kind of knew the payoff for this. They're obviously going to match up Ilya with Justin now, but hopefully it comes soon enough, and then we can kind of just get moved. I think this is kind of a shoe-in for the White House now, because like they're so desperate for American stars.
Yeah.
And Gaethje, it's just a very easy build, and it wouldn't shock me, especially with Ilya being involved, they might just like make it the main event. I'd really have a hard time believing it'd be co-main or something.
Yeah, unless it is like a Connor or John Jones or somebody like that could succeed. But we'll get that. That's 6 months down the road, Bobby. You mentioned something like, to me, like Justin's game plan to me was like, I'm gonna throw the whole kitchen sink at him. Like I'm gonna go back to the complete chaos Justin, not like this reserved Justin we've seen since him and Whitman. Really after kind of the Khabib fight, right? Or really the Tony fight. Not that many leg kicks. And I thought Patty, like I don't know where I thought his game plan would be try to take Justin down. I guess he was 0 for 5 on takedowns, but it's like, and Justin's we know Justin has pretty much good grappling skills as well as like as far as like making it stay standing, good defensive. But I thought he was just bullying Patty for the most part. You mentioned round 3 was Patty's best round. He bounced back kind of after the eye poke and everything else. And, Patty just, took an absolute beating. I mean, he says Scousers don't get knocked out. Well, that's Scouser. He took Justin's best shots. And I think a lot of fight fans will respect Patty more. I don't say it was like a moral victory, but more of like, we just watched him get beat the fuck up by a guy who has put people's lights out in this division for years and is one of the scariest dudes out there, and just would not go down and kept coming back, gave Justin a good fight. And Justin proved to everybody like, hey, the old guys can still get it done. And I thought maybe Justin was just throwing everything at him because I told you, I think once he loses, it's over. So you might as well go out on your shield the way you want to go. So throw everything at, make sure you leave it kind of all out there. And I thought that's what Justin was kind of doing. Patty survived the early first round storm, like you said, when he got knocked down. Even the second round, a part of that was the eye poke, but when the flurry was coming. But yeah, Patty bounced back in the third, and then it looked like Justin might be getting tired, right? Like maybe Patty wins these later rounds, but Justin, to his credit, had a good round 4, and kind of, at that point, Patty needed a finish in round 5, and was never even close to getting that. But it was a good fight. But and Justin, to me, just pieced Patty up, and Patty will be back, I think. Right? He's barely 30, and here we are. So I do think it's probably Ilya Justin. Shout out to PT Carroll. He kind of said it, I think either last night or on the Crack on Friday. The winner of BSD versus Dan Hooker, because of the beef, they could do that in Patty, or you could just do Patty versus Armin, because Armin's going to need some time if we're going to do Ilya Justin, and he's just sitting out there. And obviously he called out Patty last night as well.
If there's one thing I took away from last night, there's no way in fuck they are giving Patty Armin Sarukian. And you said it in the I was thinking like mid-second round, and I'm just like, Ilya would have had them both out by then. Because like the non and granted, Justin will be way more technical in the Ilya, because like that was the main thing that you saw from Justin. He absolutely did not respect Paddy's striking or power. Like Paddy was hitting him with some shots and he just kind of kept moving forward. And I think him, I don't want to say taking off that third round, but kind of getting that second wind. You really saw that in the fourth or fifth round. It was probably more because the damage Justin was landing, but he kind of looked like the fresher fighter throughout the whole thing. But, you know, for those that were kind of doubting Paddy, I think you get your answers. But at the same time, you know, there is a difference between like competing in the, you know, top 10 of the division and at that very top. But like you said, he's so young that he'll have more than enough time to, you know, do some corrections and all. But the one thing he did kind of do was like he was already over from like the popularity standpoint. And I don't think any of his stock really took a hit like that.
I think it rose. To me, I think it increased.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you consider it was the first event on Paramount, and you know, so I think they got.
I just think it increased because of the style of the fight in the way he handled it. You know.
Yeah, I think that's kind of why the UFC set the matchmaking up like this, because like they could really give Paddy that push and would know at the same time if he didn't get it done, he would most likely save face because of Justin Gaethje's fighting style. And you know, they obviously got fired tonight, so they got their bump in the bonus. Hooray! I'm glad they all got extra money. Kind of wish they would focus more on the base pay, but you know, we're early into it, so I'll be optimistic.
Yeah, same.
And but yeah, I mean, the fight more or less, I think the only, like you saw Armin chirping, and it's like this guy couldn't even finish Justin on antibiotics. I love the banter and trash talk. That'd be a hell of a you know, if anything, I would say that's a bigger step up, like coming off the loss, if they were to match that up.
Yeah.
The Hooker BSD thing, especially being the week after, that math just kind of makes a little bit more sense, especially if Hooker is able to get it. But like, even if it's BSD, like you can't tell me after last night that stylistically Paddy and BSD would be a very interesting fight.
Right, I think so too. Ilya Topuria did tweet last night, talking Paddy and talking this fight. Little Sausage, here's was what he literally tweeted out. Little Sausage, the only thing you had to do was be a 38-year-old guy. You just lost the biggest paycheck of your life. You were going to get rich if you won. Justin, all I can say is congratulations, and I'd like to tell you to get ready, but you're screwed no matter what. So.
And, you know, in picking Justin, I feel terrible saying there's not one thing incorrect about that tweet.
No.
I find it more comical that he tries to end it with a flex when he literally in the first line discredits Justin immediately with, you know, especially like if you look at Ilya's like opponents, like resumes, like the whole allegation of, you know, fighting guys on the down world. Well,
yeah,
it's going to get louder and louder until we get this one.
Yeah.
And I saw some people like holding out hope that, oh, well, you know, the UFC might, there's zero chance that like, even though I think Armin and Ilya should be the next fight, we know we're not going to get that. Like, they're not going to put the title on Justin. They have like kind of the layup they wanted, especially for booking purposes. And it like Dana White made it a point in the press conference because they asked him, he said Paddy got transported, but then he was very adamant that Gaethje told him that he feels great and he is completely healthy. 15 minutes off a fight like that, pretty wild statement, but I think it's just kind of painting the picture clear, like, hey, no, this is the next fight. And, you know.
Yeah, I think it's going to be. In the co-main, we had a nice I thought the fight was, I want to say, a little bit better. It was really kind of started out slow. And Sean O'Malley wins unanimous decision. I thought the first round was close. Song won the second. O'Malley won the third. So that was kind of how you scored the first. Most people scored it for O'Malley. I thought Song kind of did some damage there at the end to maybe steal it. Wasn't too sure. But your thoughts on the co-main and kind of what's next? Is a title shot next for Sean O'Malley? He's claiming Peter, wants the rematch with Peter Yan.
Well, if you were listening to the broadcast, it absolutely sounds like that. Like they were laying that on in the
pretty thick. Yeah,
nothing was, they were kind of just getting everything figured out. And more or less kind of how I thought the fight would go. Song did look very good and was kind of figuring out the distance in the second round. And I could see having split scorecards on this one. Like, to me, it's really all how you scored the first. I thought Sean definitively won the third just because of the mainly like the damage criteria. Like that.
That's where I had it too. Yeah, Song was bleeding out the mouth. Yeah.
So I had no way, because I saw a lot of people that were like, "Oh, robbery!" Like they were trying to compare it to the Peter Yan fight.
No.
And, to me, it's like at worst a split decision, and you could see it either way. But I'll tell you one thing: O'Malley definitely looked relieved. Like he was, before they read the scorecards, he was screaming, "I won that fight! I won that fight!" And he was doing some like heavy breathing. I think just trying to calm down. And the second they read his name, you saw the relief just kind of open up and stuff.
I just wish he would have done a little bit more in the first. You know what I mean? Like and I know he is more of not the aggressor, right? He's more a defensive fighter, wants to keep the range, but
I really think it's just his style, and that's especially like the way that first round ended, where Song was able to get the takedown. That's where I can see a lot of people being like, okay, Song really got that one.
That's where I had it, where I thought maybe Song won due to the takedown.
Yeah. But to me, like that entire first round, O'Malley was still like controlling the pace of the fight and where everything was going. And other than him just taking him down, he really didn't inflict any damage. So I could see it either way. And it didn't really surprise me that it was O'Malley on points there. The call out was kind of strange because it was definitive, but also very respectful to like Merab.
I think he knows, like, he can't. If Merab wants to fight tomorrow for Peter Yan against Peter Yan, they have to give it to Merab over O'Malley because he's got the 2 wins,
But that's just, I don't disagree. However, we know that's not how they operate. Like, if they get the smoking gun, and especially because like this will be the litmus test right here. Merab was trying to claim that, I won't be fighting on the White House because they told me no Russian. Well, I guarantee they are going to be talking on Monday that we should put Sean O'Malley and Peter Yan on the White House card.
Agreed.
And I honestly do not think it's a bad thing. Like, though I agree Merab would deserve an immediate rematch, I don't think it'd be bad at all for him to just take a little bit more time, because he did have that insane paced year. And
if I'm Merab, here's the thing: is I let Sean fight Peter Yan, and then if Sean wins, you've already beat Sean pretty easily through the 7 rounds that you guys have fought, and he's probably won all 7 of them, plus with the finish. You know what I mean? Like, why not? And then you get the title back, and then maybe may or may not have to face Peter Yan again. You know what I mean?
In a perfect world, and I know this is probably an impossible sell to Merab because he already has the victory over, but I would kind of like to see them do
Umar
Yan versus O'Malley, and then you run back Umar and Merab. a rematch I've been wanting to see for a while. But I also will get the argument that Merab's next fight should be for a belt. Like, he should just sit out. But the fan in me would definitely want to see that run back. I know for a fact Umar would prefer to fight Merab than fight Peter Yan next for the title, because he wants to try to make the victory null and void. So that's enough like storyline for me to be kind of invested in both of those.
Yeah.
But I will say, just like the main event, I don't think O'Malley would beat Yan, especially in the 5-round atmosphere. He nudged out that decision in the 3-round fight, but we know damn well that's not going to stop any, matchmaking or anything. And I think it was really all by design how they had it set up, because you heard from like the CBS broadcast earlier in the week before the fight happened. You heard it heavily on the commentary. They were suggesting it. It was good to see like Merab in the crowd. He was very smart to like be there, to be like, hey, look, remember me? Yeah, I beat that dude twice definitively.
Yeah, twice. Finished him once. Yeah. Agreed.
So I kind of understand all sides to the argument, but especially how we have seen them doing the matchmaking. It almost seems like too much of a layup from the Brass's perspective there.
Yeah, and Umar had the nice win. If you're gonna do, and I'm in a total agreement as far as like Merab should fight for the title next, then just do O'Malley Umar. They haven't fought, and I would obviously favor Umar in that fight because I mean Song took down Sean. It's just like I don't know when is Sean ever gonna be able to defend wrestling. It hasn't happened, So.
He seems to have that defensive mechanism too. The second he gets taken down, he just automatically, like, I don't know if he's a huge Dustin Poirier fan or what, and he just like, oh yeah, because he was doing that same, going for the guillotine when like Merab would take him down and stuff.
Yeah, and then he just lays there, and this is like it's like almost he doesn't try to get back up sometimes.
Yeah, and I was also giving Tim shit. And it's kind of ironic because he was telling him to go in there and be like Max Holloway, and I was like, what the fuck? But at the same time, like, he knows his athlete very well and he knows how to get through to him. And then shit, if you look at that 3rd round, he kind of was being Max Holloway as far as the defensive boxing and stuff. So he was able to get through to him to have him lock down that 3rd round. So who am I to criticize it? But I've also been kind of wanting to see Umar and O'Malley, just because I think that's the closest we would ever get to like a Conor Khabib too. It would obviously be a lot more respectful than that, but just kind of the stylistically of the hard worker versus the flashy kind of brass fighter. But I'm kind of surprised they didn't have it on the main card for that reason as well. But it all kind of blended together. I'm sure we'll get into the production later.
Yeah, we'll get into that a little bit later. But so I think we're both kind of in agreement here. Like Merab should be next, but if the likelihood is that they would probably do Yan versus O'Malley too. If I'm Merab, again, I don't hate. Just let that happen, and then if O'Malley wins, I think that's the easier fight for you to get the belt back.
Yeah, my concern with that would be, I'm not sure if they would. I feel like if O'Malley were to win in this hypothetical scenario, they'd want to try to get a title shot or something with him,
a defensive maybe.
So that I think that's kind of the poison pill that Merab is dealing with, and especially when he's like, you guys told me that no Russians at the White House, and apparently it's just no Russians versus Georgians, because why am I getting punished for this?
So we'll see what happens there. The third fight on the card, Natalia Silva gets a unanimous decision against Thug Rose. I came away thinking I don't need to see either one of these women fight Shevchenko because I don't think either one of them's going to beat Shevchenko. I just wasn't impressed with either lady, Bobby.
Yeah, it was very tentative at the beginning. And Rose was kind of working the footwork really well and keeping an eye out, knowing like Silva has power. But at the same time, I initially thought Natalia Silva could kind of make that interesting Valentina title fight. And I came away with the same thing that, Val would just mercifully take her down repeatedly.
Yeah.
But it sounds like that's also going to be the direction they're going because Valentina also needs those fights. So I do think that's going to be next. And I could also see the argument that some people, I would have been a little bit more excited to see Rose and Valentina personally, like how the fight was going.
Yeah. Two legends too, I think, right? Like two legends in the game, to kind of go at it. Not that Silva, she's still young, so she's got to make her path here, but yeah.
Yeah, and it's not to say that she couldn't eventually get it down the line or something too, but she already was kind of the definitive number one contender, so I don't really know who else they would give her to fight. And but I know you were losing your mind when they were doing the intros and Pat Barry was doing the
yeah, I was.
But
I have come to the conclusion that he may be my most hated person in this sport. I'm pretty sure.
He's your Kyle Bahara. You gotta love it.
Yeah, there's really not much to say on that fight. I just in the heavyweight fight, and I want to get to the some other notes here too. But Derek Lewis just seemed like to me he gave up. It didn't even look like he got hit with anything. It's like he slipped. I thought maybe he like tore his legs or something because he just laid there and then Costa just came throwing blows at him and fight's over.
Yeah, it was all Waldo Cortez. He was so fast.
Yeah,
really. He just kind of milked Derek's gas tank, and then But at first, I thought it was just from like a jab or something, and he fell. But it was more or less kind of a slip from being tired. And Waldo was like, "Well, he's on the ground. I'm going to capitalize."
Yeah. Derek just laid there. He didn't even try to get up. Just like curled up. Yeah. It's like, hit me with a few shots, and I'm going to go home.
And that was more or less kind of how I broke it down. And like Waldo is so good at getting these heavyweights in just out of their position and their comfort level. And he made like Derek Lewis look like 40 years old. It was, you kind of always know he's live to get that big blow, but there's like no chance in him hitting him. Like Waldo's footwork, he was just so quick with it. And he continues to go on this run. He's not waiting at all. Like he called out Derek Lewis when he literally has rights to probably a title shot in this division. And hell man.
No, he called out Curtis Blades. Yeah,
who did I say?
Derek Lewis. He just beat Derek Lewis.
The guy he just beat. But at the same time, like, man, Dana didn't give a lot in the press conference, except for this. Like he was like, "Ooh, yeah, we love him. He takes the fights." And then this is the comment that really caught my eye. He mentioned he got poked in the eye, and then he went back out there and fought.
Yeah,
and I was like, "Ooh, that seems like a little bit of a dig. Was that a dig?" And then later on in the press conference, some reporter asked updates on like a Gon and a Gon Tom rematch. And Dana immediately goes, "Oh, have him do the quote." Pretty much like, "I don't want to get aggregated." But then after that, he said, "Oh, he's having his second surgery." And by second surgery, I mean their injections. So like he's once again like downplaying the severity of what Tom's dealing with. And especially with like what CBS was like laying down, like talking about this being for an interim, I think it's only a matter of time, man. You could see the frustration on his face, not wanting to get into it. And it's not good if you're a Tom Aspinall fan, for sure, because he's really done nothing wrong other than try to get right. But you could see the patience is wearing thin with these, he's kind of he's propping Waldo up while discrediting his current heavyweight champion without saying it. But it's like clear as day if you watch it.
Yeah. If you follow the breadcrumbs, yeah, for sure. And I don't really know if I need to see Waldo yet in the interim. It doesn't make to me because Pavlovich beat him. So like, I know, so it doesn't make sense for Gane. Not that it fucking matters at this point in time because the numbers don't matter, right? The rankings don't matter. But I think Curtis Blades is a perfect shout against Waldo if that's the route they go, because Blades is top 5 as well. It's been around. Blades usually does well except for against guys who are power punchers, so that would be interesting. That might favor Waldo in this point, and we'd be able to see how his defensive wrestling is. So because we know Blades wants to take you down.
Yeah, the speed factor alone in that fight would make it intriguing enough for me, and I think they probably would do it. The only reason I'm leaning towards them possibly doing the interim is because they know Waldo would take that on extremely short notice.
Oh,
so
yeah.
If they needed to like fill out an event, they'll be like, oh, well, we can just do this sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I would absolutely say do the Curtis Blades fight, because he's just going to keep kind of making himself undeniable, trying to beat everyone he can and just the activity. You don't get that in the heavyweight division. And I will say, if we drop all the way down to the card, I also think he would fight down and handle Josh Hockett.
Agreed. Yeah, shout out Hockett with the victory, the second fight of the night on a buzzer beater. To open up the main card, Bobby, I thought outside of the main event might have been the best fight of the card, and that was Arnold Allen versus Jean Silva. I don't know how you get 30-27 Silva, because I thought Arnold Allen won the first round, and the second round was close. I thought Silva won the third round, but what an incredible 3-round fight. I mean, that fight was a banger from beginning to end.
Yeah, I gave Allen the first as well. I thought he had a kind of perfect game plan, staying out of Silva's way and stuff.
Yeah.
And credit to Silva for not getting frustrated in it. And he really turned in a better second round. And Allen just simply did not do enough in the third. I don't know if it's because he was wearing some of the shots. Silva's shots seemed to definitely do a lot more damage as well.
Yeah, I thought Allen answered back, but I thought the power, as we know, Silva has that power in his hands, and it was kind of shaking Allen a little bit more.
Yeah, and I agree. I thought the 30-27 was ridiculous, but and of course he always finds a way to create a meme in a fight. You already saw like him surfing with Allen, and
the
one
Tony Hawk skateboards,
and definitely if you're like used to seeing like Silva's energy, he seemed a lot more serious. Like he eventually was trying to spam glove touches, but in the beginning, because he always like cries and like fist bumps Bruce Buffer, where this he was just like more kind of potent.
The Yuri Prohaska potent stuff. Yeah.
But I really don't know what you do with him as well, because especially he just had the loss to Diego.
He's asking for a title fight. I don't like, to me, and maybe they haven't booked Lerone Murphy or Mozart, and to me, I still feel like they're next. But if they haven't booked those two to fight each other, then let them fight one of them.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like they're kind of going to use Mosavar and Murphy to matchmake him to once again slide Silva in there. And That would probably be more for if Volk wins, because I don't know how you're going to sell on like a back-to-back rematch for that title, even though one wasn't for the title.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Like I do think the most of our fight would be very interested, but I'd be kind of shocked if they go that route. Or like with Lerone.
Maybe you do him in. So they got Yair Rodriguez is at 3. So why not do Allen was 6. You could do Silva and Yair.
I like Silva Yair a lot, actually. That's especially
Aljo's at 5. He could, put Aljo down.
Yeah, Aldo is the one calling for a title shot, the winner of next week's fight, which I don't care if you were a champion in another division. A win over Andrade, Brian Ortega, who should not have been fighting in that fight. I mean, just look at Smotherland if you need an example, or whatever his name is, the poor guy who fainted. And yeah, so no, we'll get into that next week, obviously.
Yeah, so I don't mind him and Yair, or him and Aljo is kind of like for me. A title shot next would be hard to say. That's warranted.
Yeah, you can't blame Aldo for trying, or Aljo for trying, but I just roll my eyes at that type of shit.
Well, that's why even Silva calling for it. It's not warranted yet. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I think that's why Yair is perfect. Stylistically, it would probably still favor Silva.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be a fun one too. Like that would be some fireworks, I feel like. So yeah, give me that fight. We talked about Umar with the nice win over Figgy. I think it's Figgy missing weight in this class. Again, to me, it might be time for it might be time for Figgy to go back to the hair salon.
He was not trying to fight at any point. Everyone was like shitting on Umar's performance. Like, what do you expect him to do against a guy that's just trying to evade him the entire time? It was one-way traffic, 30-27, and yeah, Figgy looked like absolute shit.
Yeah, I thought it was too. I thought Umar controlled the whole fight. Figgy had maybe a little moment, plus the weight miss. As well. What do you make of our guy Gutierrez? Not quite. I thought unanimous decision. Kudos to Palaev. I mean, he took some absolute punches, but Gutierrez goes to decision here, and I think everybody was kind of a little disappointed it wasn't a quick knockout.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not so much that it wasn't a quick knockout. It's that he was kind of spamming the exact same thing. And once he wasn't getting out of there, you almost knew in the first round it was going to go to decision. And I came away thinking I don't need to see him fighting ranked opposition anytime soon. Give him like 1, 2, 3 more fights. Just kind of keep building him.
Yeah. Alex Perez knocks out Charles Johnson. We mentioned Josh Hokett, Ty Miller, and Josh Hokett both came at the buzzer kind of the first round. But Bobby, we got to talk a little bit. What was your thoughts here on just the production, or if you want to mention anybody else or have any thoughts on the prelims before we talk about the production?
The Charles Johnson loss was definitely rough for sure. He just got cracked early and never seemed to recover. It went on a little too long. But at the same time, I got kind of full hope that he'll bounce back, especially at 125, And then the Hokett fight, Denzel Freeman, whatever his name is, that was the least effort I have ever seen in a fucking fight in my life. They should just cut him. He's just
terrible. They should have looked into that one for the gambling. They should have.
And yeah, I mean, you kind of left with the elephant in the room. And there, the Michael Johnson fight got pulled because of weird betting lines. I guess it's good they pulled it, but
good call.
Kind of more of the same.
Yeah.
And the prelims did start off. They were all finishes up until one point. I think the one you didn't expect to go to decision was Gutierrez that kind of killed the momentum of that. But you definitely saw guys kind of throwing themselves out there a little more because of the bonus, or at least I know that's what Dana White will take credit for and say. But the production, I'm going to get to it in two ways here. Because I'll get to the main card part of it in a minute. The beginning of it, and I know this kind of really isn't their fault because they lost 2 fights on it.
Yeah.
But to start the Paramount era, going to the desk for an hour and a half was absolutely fucking brutal, especially coming off a 6-week layoff. And I just can't believe that, maybe it was like just we can't start any later till this because of how it will go with the main card.
Yeah.
But then going into that, and I know a few people were calling this out, and they were absolutely right. The extra hour was fucking wolf tickets. Like the hour earlier, yes, it started an hour earlier, but if you went with all the ads and everything, it was 8:30 my time when the main event was starting. And that's more or less kind of, for one.
Yeah, it was about the same amount of time for me too, about 10:30. Yeah. I was like, Jesus.
And I texted you, I think it was during the O'Malley fight. And it was like, could you imagine if Kayla and Amanda were still on? The main event would have started even later. So they're going to have some kinks to work out with that. I would say I liked how they started the main card, doing something a little different, having the kind of movie, explaining the history of the sport, acknowledging they probably had a lot of first-time viewers and stuff. So that was good to see. It was, they had Bruce Buffer in the beginning. Kind of a rough night for Bruce.
Started out with announcing the wrong people.
Yeah, and that's going to happen.
And that's what happens when you take 6 weeks. That's why we're not allowed to take 6 weeks off, Bobby.
I guarantee you, if you ask the fans, they wouldn't even picked it up. Like half of them, like, oh yeah, that guy is Fugit.
Yeah, but that guy is Ty Miller. Yeah,
and that, good God, that was Fugit seemed to definitely be booked in that fight because they knew, well, this guy is going to get fucked up. And, good God, like hell of a debut for sure. So, the card was built with like some good pace, and I'm glad I figured out the multi-view thing.
Yeah, I might have to check into that next time.
Because the ads were dragging quite a bit, and we alluded to kind of losing some walkouts and stuff. And I didn't think it would be too big of a deal. But then you kind of realize like how used we are to seeing it on the main card. And that like definitely drained on the pace a little bit. And I'm the West Coaster. I shouldn't even be complaining about this stuff. I wonder how it kind of felt for you by the time we got to the main card.
Yeah, it was just I told you the prelim stuff, like the pace of that, wasn't gonna blame him. It didn't help. Like he lost 2 fights, and the first 2 fights are first round knockouts, right? So like that didn't help. Like that's always gonna fuck up the pace. So the main card where it's usually, it's just like it was a lot of ads, did miss the walkouts, but like at the beginning, and I do think like they said going forward, we'll start the fight kind of the card on like at 9 or 8. I mean, the first fight didn't really start till damn near 8:45. And that was because we were getting all the hoopla, right? Like the, welcome to Paramount, welcome to this. They're not going to do all that stuff every time. So
the thing that drove me nuts was after they did that intro package, and like the Travis Barker thing is whatever, more package, cross promoting and stuff. But like when they went back to the desk, I almost lost my mind, and they tried to pin it on, oh, well, we just inducted Dom into the Hall of Fame, so this is why we're going back to the desk. And it's like, don't try to pull me with that, because you literally cut his retirement thing in the middle of the swap from the prelim to the main card.
Right. So yeah, I'm in agreement there. So I do think that they'll clean some things up. I hope to get less ads, hopefully, going forward. But like Dana said, they got to make money somehow, because they're not charging us $80. So if you're gonna ask me, would I rather deal with the bullshit ads or pay fucking $80? I'll deal with the bullshit ads for $80 for all year than pay $80 a month for the fight. So give me the bullshit ads.
And the 1080p, absolute improvement. It looks so much more crisp and stuff. I loved it.
Yeah, Scott Coe wants to know: do you guys surprised with some of the results, or did you think the event went as it did last night? I don't really know if I'm real surprised with any of the results. I mean, we make picks on the show, but if you would have told me on Thursday that John Silva's going to win a close decision against Arnold Allen, I could see it. I mean, I picked Derek Lewis, but I mean, if you wouldn't tell me that, there wasn't an outcome where I was like, holy shit, I didn't see this fucking happening, type thing.
Yeah, the only main card pick that I was wrong on was the John Silva, and that was like the least shocking one.
Yeah, right.
And the rest kind of went more or less. I would say if I was surprised at anything, it wasn't Patty lost, because I picked Justin. I was more surprised in the game plan he tried to do.
Yeah,
after it clearly was not working and Justin was getting the better, I thought there'd be a switch up, and he maybe just figured, and it very well could have been he was just so fucking hurt. Maybe he really that was like really all he could.
He said that he got hurt, or he got hit with something in the first, and that kind of changed everything.
The solar plex shot, and I think that just drained him for any type of like real grappling. And Justin was very smart when he hurt him. He just kept kind of, when he went down to the ground, he would put him in that headlock to just make sure to shut down any jiu-jitsu.
I think maybe the game plan, even like Justin, the way he just kind of came out, would be, to me, the surpriser. And Patty just really, if I would have told you like Justin's just gonna go out here and throw out the kitchen sink, you probably would have thought that Patty would have got knocked out. So I think maybe how Patty fought was the most surprising thing, not so much the results of anything. So
yeah, and I guess heading back to the women's fight, I was a little bit. I thought Silva would have a little bit more success, but at the same time, I did mention how good Rose is with her footwork. But I thought that one would be a little bit more definitive, when in reality it was a split that could have gone to either one.
Yeah, agreed. We'll have to see. But we'll be back, folks. This has been a great episode. We just wanted to get this post show out because we knew we could go an hour on the post show. Next on Wednesday, we're going to be doing 325. We'll be live in Australia. The UFC will be for 325, headlined by Volk and Lopez. That card is, it's, I mean, we'll talk about it on Wednesday, but, it's not as deep, obviously nowhere near as deep as this card is, but still a decent card. We're going to get plenty of Australians on it.
The first three are quality events. And just to wrap a bow on everything, heading back to Friday real quick, the Zuffa boxing.
Oh, yeah.
That kind of got our first look at kind of how we knew we'd get the 1080p. It was okay. The action was great. So product-wise, it was good.
I don't think the Apex looked as lifeless.
But at the same time, Dana tried to say you wouldn't know that you were in the Apex. That is complete. Now, I knew, maybe it's just because I know what the Apex looks like.
Maybe because we've spent hours and upon hours.
I knew damn well we were in the Apex. Yeah. So the action was fine, but I do hope in the future they tone down the Max Kellerman was just unbearable. With the Dana White is Christ's gift to God in boxing.
The slurpage of,
I mean,
Bobby, that's why we're here. We're here because of Turkey and Dana White. That's why me and you are here right now. That's the reason everybody's here right now.
Yeah, no, that was just, and you already knew he was like a shill from the Canelo coverage and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like Luke Thomas put out a good tweet where Max was on First Take criticizing LeBron selling out, when in reality, like Max just went from the same bag.
Yeah.
But at least it's going to be cool to kind of see how they're going to deal with all of. I'm sure it'll beef up after this. My only request, and it seems to be the decision they're making, hopefully we get that same setup for the Apex, at least with they're saying by the end of the year it will hold 1,100 people.
Yeah.
So like Friday's event was just like 300, but more or less, I think it's a success to kind of pair it with the big event. But I just wanted to give it a small mention before we hopped out of here.
No, I'm glad you mentioned that. Yeah. It to me, like I said, I didn't watch a whole lot of it. I watched the main event. I was busy doing stuff Friday, but I did watch the main, and I was just like, the production. I wanted to get a good look at the production. I wanted to see the Apex. Didn't look as lifeless. Looked like there was, if I didn't know it was the Apex, like I was just like, oh, they're fighting at like a nice like club or something. You know what I mean? So.
It reminds me of those old casino shows they used to do, like that.
Yeah.
Stuff. So
yeah.
If they're able to recreate that type of environment, I'm all here for it. But
that's what it reminded me of, like an old casino show, like where they would have it at the casinos. Like
I did also take away, if they want this thing to succeed, they need to get the fuck out of there.
Well, the next one I think is at the Apex. I think it's next Friday. I think the Zuffa Boxing 2 is. It's sometime soon.
Yeah, they're going to roll them out, and not to tout Dana, but he kind of said judge us at the end of 26 for this, and I don't think they're here to compete. So this is we're going to have to remember this in the years going forward. The ramifications it could have for the sport in general, because you could tell all the commissions still ain't taking them seriously, and I think that is a foolish move there.
Yeah, same. But yeah, we'll be back. It was a great night of fights. It's again Justin Gaethje and Patty fight of the night. I think we're in agreement there. Man, it was incredible. It felt good to be back. It felt good to be back after 6 long weeks of being gone and not watching fights. So we'll be back next Wednesday, 8 o'clock, or this coming Wednesday, 8 o'clock Central, 9 Eastern. Talk UFC 325, headlined by the reigning, defending featherweight champion Alexander Volkanovski, taking on Diego Lopez for the second time in like less than 6 months. So there's that. Other than that, folks. Bobby, who you got winning the games today? Real quick.
I keep going back and forth with it because like we were on Bobby G's show on Friday and I picked the Seahawks. But what you also laid down on your side, I think I'm kind of with you. So I think it's going to be Pats, and I think the Rams are probably going to figure out a way to just get it done. But it would not shock me at all if it is Seattle. But I'll say Pats and Rams.
All right, I'm going Pats, Rams. Glad I could get you to flip flop over to my side. But
I didn't flip flop on picking Patty on that show. I knew you were like, ooh, where's he going with this? I just had to let them down easily.
I got the Rams. I wouldn't surprise me if Seattle wins. That's the game I want to tune in for the most. So other than that, folks, tune in to us next Wednesday, 8 o'clock Central, 9 Eastern, for another great episode of Headkicks and Haymakers. I'm Bodkins for my guy Bobby Blunts. We'll catch you then. See ya. Have a great weekend, folks. Stay warm.
Thanks so much for joining us, and until next time, let's talk sport, friends. Thanks for watching.